Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Only Trams. In today's video we're going to be addressing the issue that we had in the last video of all the oil building up at this Louth oil refinery here. Now I want to thank you all for your comments on the last video. There were so many options people were giving me on how to fix this. We had some people saying have a separate line up for the crude oil coming down. Other people saying get rid of the, how we say, up with the first 2 laps coming up with crude oil, just having the one. But I think I could be wrong here, but I believe I've come up with an idea that not only fixes the problem of these guys going back empty on one trip, but it also brings something new into the system. So that's what we're going to be doing today. What I want to look at is getting some construction materials made up here near Edgware. And then the guys that are currently going back empty on the first run of crude oil could take those construction materials all the way down to the main hub down here. And then we'll set up another line coming out of the hub here that will then deliver those construction materials onto Bexhill and Dareham. So that's the plan for today. And hopefully by the end of the episode we can see that all in action. So I think I'm going to start off by getting the bricks set up here. Or the construction materials, I suppose I should call them. Actually, let me know guys what you think. I did spend a little bit of time off camera decorating these oil refineries. And I'm actually really happy with this one here at Louth. And then I did do a little bit at this fuel refinery here as well. Not as much, and I've left this side quite clear so far. I've built up where the fuel is, just because at the moment we don't know what's going to be coming in or out of that side. But I think they're pretty cool. Oh, and I also changed the bridges as well, because I didn't like the standard bridges coming in. And I think these look pretty cool. I've got this one here, and then I put a nice brick one over here just south of the town. Yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I like to, well, I don't usually spend a lot of time decorating, to be fair, but I always like to try new things. I know a lot of people have a lot of fun with the decorating tools and things, but I've never really gotten around to using it. But I think we'll keep this one here with the dirt on the ground, because it's a quarry. I would imagine it would be quite dirty. We only need a standard size, I think, but because we are using trams, I'll go with 20, and we'll keep this as far away as we can just to limit how far we've got to go. That looks pretty good to me. We'll just double check. Yep, that's in range. And then we do need one down at the construction material. Now I believe, I'll just double check again. Can we reach from this side of the forest? We can't, so we'll go this side. We'll make that is already 20, so we'll be fine. Oh, I've just thought, I don't think I put electric tram tracks on that other one. I'll go back and double check that. Is this 1-to-1? It is. Construction materials are 1-to-1. Perfect. I need to go, if I go for the road here, and we go to upgrade with electric, I think that'll upgrade it. It will. There we go. That's handy to know that that itself will upgrade the truck station itself. And we're going to want to upgrade these roads all the way through. And I am going to put a bypass line in for Edgware, guys. Just because I don't want it to go taking all this stuff through the town. I think if we peel off at this junction's a nice enough area for us to do it. That rounded road tool, again, just causing us issues. It's something that I wish they'd have a look at, the developers on that one. Now, to keep the speed up here, no one else is going to really be using this road. So I'll make this the main road through, just so they don't have to connect in. We don't actually need the electric tram rail there, do we? We'll take that off. There we go. We'll just connect that road in. Perfect. So now that's everything lined up for us to be getting trams into here, and they can bring the stone up and the construction materials back. Now we need to think of a way that we can get these back onto this original crude line. So do we bring the materials all the way down here, or I know what we're going to do. Right, what we'll do is we'll go stone to the construction materials. Let me set this line up while I think about it. So we want to take the stone from here, where we do want to wait for a full load. We want to take those up to the construction materials, where we'll just load whatever is available. But I will tell it to load construction materials. It can unload anything there, that's fine. And on that first one, all we want it doing is loading stone. We don't want it to unload anything there. What I want it to do is to unload it on the other platform here. So, no, not there. We want to go upper Louth to edge after Edgware east. We want to add in here, but what I want to do is change that platform. So it goes on its own platform. There we go, perfect. So they will now drop off the construction materials here. So that is going to be TF. What was the name of the town up there? Edgware. My memory is absolutely terrible. We'll call that Conmat for construction materials. And then I think we'll colour that sort of construction material, sort of bricky colour. Have we got one? I think that dark red's about the closest we'll get. And what we also need to do, I nearly forgot there, is upgrade this section of road in between to have the electric. It's connected all the way up to there, to there, to there. Now what we could do is get trams from all the way down here again, but I think it's this side of the river. I think we're overdue a tram depot. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think we're that far up across the river now that we might as well put one in. We're going to be doing more in this area as time progresses, so there's no reason not to. So at the minute now, we've got stone going to the construction materials factory and coming back to here, so we can drop the bricks there. But what I need to do is edit this line. I'm going to pause it and get it all up and running just so it does start working. So now for cargo, if we're going to go for stone, we've got to have these. And somebody did mention in the last video why we're not using the ones that are 3 carriages long, with the extra 3 carriages long, and they carry 28. And I have sort of been against it just because I think they look a bit outrageous. They look a little bit too long, but go on, we'll try them in here because it means we'll have less trams. I think I'm going to start with 3 just to see how we get on with these. And then we're going to go onto that combat line. And what I also might do, something else that I never do, is I never colour vehicles. But because we're going to have a lot of these same vehicles running around, I might colour these and just do it as a bit of a trial and see how they look. I don't tend to like the trains being anything coloured other than the original colours, but that actually looked really good. That might look better than the original, actually. I do like that red. Now, before we go too far, we've got no end demand at the minute for those construction materials. So what I want to do is work through this line. I'm going to start from the top just so I don't miss anything. Now what I'm going to do is the first line here, we are just going to pick up crude and we're going to be dropping the fuel off that comes through at the end, correct? And then it's going to go to the Louth East and it's going to unload everything and then it's coming back to Canterbury. Okay, so after Louth East, what we want to do is put in Louth Exchange. But we want it to be the other platform here. We want that to be platform 1. And what I want it to do there is just load. I don't want it to unload anything. I just want it to load up on combat. Because on the last one it's just unlocked. It'll come up here empty. It'll pick up combat, and then when it goes back to Canterbury East, it will unload combat. And then it will load up on crude and come back. And then when it gets back up here, it'll unload the crude, it'll pick up on oil, and it'll come up here the second time and drop off the oil. Right, okay. So that now, all being well, and fingers crossed here, I could be wrong. Oh, by the way, guys, I did let time run on to pay back the loan as well. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't take long at all. If you look at our routes here, the only one is the construction materials one I've just put on that's losing money. The fuel line's actually making us 1.5 million. Even though it's not perfect and it's running empty on a whole leg at the moment. Right, okay, now, so this guy's going to come down here and he's going to be dropping construction materials off. And we have got an empty platform here that I don't think, nothing's using that. So we've got one spare platform here. So now we can get construction materials to here. We've already got tram line all the way to well, actually, we've already got tram line all the way. But what I'm thinking is if we bring construction materials to Bexhill-on-Sea and back, we're going to be running empty on the way back, aren't we? Is there anything we can pick up on the way? I mean, we could run the loop opposite. This is an idea that I had anyway, guys. The passenger route that we've got, that we put in the last episode, is currently going around this circuit in a clockwise manner. The other side of the road, coming back the other way, we don't have anything. So I was thinking we could use that as sort of the trade route. maybe. So if we put in a line that comes down to, how many does Durham need? 62, and Bexhill only needs 27. So I might put a stop in both. Or at first we'll go for Durham, I think. So we'll bring it down to Durham as a full load. We'll drop off, and then we'll use the existing line. And I'm going to put a pickup for grain here, and then have it go in and drop grain off and pick some food up, and then go back and start again, and then it'll drop the food off and just add to this food line. I think that's probably the best solution we can have for that. So we want a line coming from here. It's already selected Terminal 2, which is exactly what I wanted. And at the minute, oh, we haven't put the loading station, the drop-off in, have we? Okay, so it's this right-hand side of town here that we need to cover. What I am going to do is just help it along and connect that street. We'll put the little sprout off where it was going to go. Okay, but we are going to have to upgrade this with electricity because at the minute there isn't. And I know, guys, I did say I would try and avoid coming through the city, but because this tram line all the way already comes through and we've already got trams coming through the town, I think I'm just going to put one on this front corner here. But if we put it close here, that does cover, that one there covers absolutely everything. And a lot of the tools as well for in the future. Okay, so that line that we were just creating, line 1. So at Canterbury, I want to make sure with this now it's only going to pick up construction materials. And it will unload food at the very end. And I'm going to tell it there to wait for a full load, actually. So it'll only come this way once it's got a full load of construction materials. And then it wants to come to Durham, where all I want it to do here is unload, which is all it will do with a truck stop. Okay, and then here, we want to go, I think I'm going to go for a concrete one here, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I wonder if we can fit one in right next to the farm. Does that just fit without deleting any of the fields? It does. So that's perfect. I'll take that. So we'll pick up, and then we've already got one at the other end. Okay, so after dropping off the construction materials, I want it to come into here, where I want it to load on grain. Don't unload anything. I'm not going to tell it to go for a full load, because I don't know if it's going to demand a full load from here. But then what I will do is I'll tell it to come here and drop off. We'll use the other terminal just in case. I don't think it'll be a massive deal if we don't. But there we're going to load food and we're going to unload the grain. Yeah, we're going to unload grain and we're going to pick up food. Perfect. Yeah, sorry, I'm just questioning myself. And then we're going to come back to Canterbury East on platform 2 and we're going to unload that food and load up on construction materials again. Perfect. So that's going to be TF. And now, do we call this Durham or Canterbury Loop? Or for now we'll call it Durham because that's all we are going to be dropping off to. It's going to be Durham Combat. I'm just going to put delivery just so I know when I look at the line that we're not producing construction materials on this loop. And then that blue's enough for the minute. That colour blue is a bit different than what we've already got on the line. And then for now, I'm going to put, because all the others on this loop are 2, I'm going to stick with that. I'm only going to put 1 here because we've told it to start off. Where are we? Combat delivery. Because we've told it to start off by waiting for a full load. I don't want to clog up what's going on here. So that should now mean that we've got a way of getting construction materials down to Durham. So if we see here as consumers, once this time runs on a little bit, we've got the stone building up, so that means we've got the supplies. It's showing the suppliers, the construction materials. I think we're going to have somebody deliver some bricks down to the bottom here before it'll kick that route in. I believe that's what we're going to be waiting for. Now, realistically, guys, I think I would have been okay to start this line off originally because these guys would have at least been getting stone up to the construction materials. But what they wouldn't have done has been bringing the construction materials down to the bottom here, so they'd have been running empty all this way, all the way back, and then all the way back to the stone again. So by pausing it, it just gives it a chance to realise that everything's sort of set up in the right way and everything's organised correctly so that it can bring it. Now it looks like we're actually losing this oil refinery here, which could be an issue. I was wondering whether that could come into our trade loop around this area, into that sort of process, because we've got the crude here. Could we use that to just sort of maybe on the way back bring something if we ran half construction materials, half crude down, and then drop the crude on the way back? But I just think we're running half loads there. As at the minute on this line, we're only going to be empty from Durham to the grain farm here, but then from the grain farm up to the food will be full, and then we'll get some food on this line going up. It's already put some food on the combat line, and that'll ultimately just get fed back into this system where we've already got too much food waiting. So I think on that Canterbury delivery line, unless one's just picked up, which it has actually, which just picked up 21 fuel, I think we need more trams on that line as well. One's coming now, but he's just been holding food, so he's going to be picking up fuel. And the food really is building up, so I am going to just clone another vehicle onto that. This guy with the construction materials, I'm going to let him go for now. Hopefully he'll do a full loop, because that might be why this guy isn't picking up that he can deliver at Durham. I'm just going to double check the lines, because I don't like it when that comes up telling me that something isn't being delivered. So we've got Canterbury East picking up combat, Durham South, no, it's Queen Street, the one that's in Durham, that will unload them. So we're picking up and dropping off combat either way. Here we're picking up grain at the farm, we're dropping off the grain, we're picking up food, and back to the start. Yes, loading combat. Okay, so that is correct. It may just need that one loop around. These guys are about to... there we go. We've got construction materials. It just needed that guy to drop the stone off by the look of it. And who does it know? Durham. There we go. And it looks like the only three cities on the map needing construction materials are Bexhill on Sea, that's already on the way. So, you know, it's possible for us to drop there, but at the moment they only want 27. It's not going to cause us a groundbreaking amount. And there's nothing to bring back on that route yet. And then the other one was Nottingham. So where's Nottingham's over here? And Edgware needs food. So it looks like we could produce some food over here and have a cargo hub outside Nottingham. And on the tram that brings construction materials over, it could take food back to Edgware. So we're bringing construction materials to Nottingham and then taking food to Edgware. So that'd run in both directions. We'd have the grain. It's obviously 2-to-1 grain, so it'd be full to the factory and half full back. But that'd be constantly running, making a profit either way. As long as you're half full, you do make a profit. The construction materials would be full this way, and then full on the way back with bread again. So that's another really good line, as long as none of these industries start to close down. But let me know what you want us to have a look at next, guys. Do you want to carry on with the cargo and expanding cargo industries, or would you like to start getting more passenger routes in? And the other thing I wanted you guys' opinions on, if you could let me know in the comments, is there's a few people now we've mentioned that you can get train lines that you can put in, but they actually have trams running on them. Now, I'm not really sure whether that's a little bit cheating. The whole idea was to have a load of trams flying around the map. But one of the things I did mention in the comments was that if we were going to allow the use of those, we could use those solely for passenger lines. So we could have the train tracks through the town, through the map even, but with trams running on them. But it just enable more direct and avoiding the traffic, but only for pedestrians, and then the cargo trams would all be for the freight then. And that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. So thanks as always for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you drop me any tips and suggestions down in the comments, as you guys always do. I'm very grateful for those. Also, if you've got any feedback for me that'll help me make these videos better for you guys, please let me know that as well. I'm always open to constructive criticism. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.